Earlier this month, I made it out to the Library of Congress's 23rd Annual National Book Festival. It was hosted inside the Walter E. Washington Convention Center instead of outside on the lawn that is the Capitol quote unquote mall, like it was for the first 14 years. Now, it's been a while since I've been to a book festival and never one of this scale. There were definitely a lot of differences between this and the fan run science fiction, fantasy, and horror conventions I usually hit up. Welcome back to Morgan's Writing Tips and Writerly Musings, with writing tips from the pros and, of course, my own writerly musings. I'm your host, Morgan Hazelwood, and today I'm here with book festivals versus cons. Now, first difference I noticed was the cost. It was free. Most fan run conventions are labors of love and funded primarily by attendees. But this one has huge sponsors and is run by the Library of Congress itself. Number two, panels. The book festival's panels paired up two authors with similar themes, hosted by an interviewer, many from NPR, the National Public Radio, and asked them to talk about their book, perhaps read a segment, and then a few questions about the matched theme before opening to audience questions. They really showcased the authors and featured their book. Now, the biggest names were solo authors and interviewed the same way. At the fan run conventions I usually attend, the moderator is either another author or a member of the staff, and the discussion focuses on the subject of the panel. Using your own book as an example more than once, unless you're like the guest of honor, is usually frowned upon. Sure, we all know you're there to promote your own work, but focusing on your own book is usually reserved for book readings or what they call coffee clutches or coffee hours, where you sit down with a small group of fans and answer questions. Difference number three, the vendors. The book festival featured a booth for every state in America, letting them showcase a handful or one of their own local authors. There were several booths from large traditional booksellers, including Scholastic, with a Clifford the Big Red Dog photo op for kids, and the host bookstore, which had the books for each state and the featured book for the panel authors and some featured swag, and that was it. At fan run conventions, there are usually booksellers featuring books across the genre, small publishers, and both traditional and indie published authors selling their own books. And that's not even talking about the artisans and other such selling items that aren't even books. Number four for differences, concurrent events. The book festival had six stages and a lounge for book signings. They were oddly staggered at different intervals, so it made it challenging if you were switching from room to room to attend items, even if they were nominally in the same time slot. At fan run conventions, I've seen six panel rooms at a small local college convention. Most conventions I've attended, even the ones that were only in the thousand attendee range, tend to have 8 or 12 or more panels at the same time, although the rooms are much smaller. But you can always find something to do. And while several have played with the timing, they generally all start at the same time and then maybe run the length of two panels so they can realign with the other events. Difference number five, the hours. The National Book Festival was a single day event with doors opening at 8:30, panels kicking off at 9 and closing at 7 p.m. Yes, there was a kickoff the night before and a virtual panel a day in the run up to the event, but the actual in-person event was only one day. Most fan run conventions are multi day events, 2 to 3 to week long events. But one thing they have in common, amazing guests. Both the book festival and the fan run conventions I typically attend had amazing guests. After hearing about their books, my ridiculous to read pile got that much longer. The National Book Festival does have the clout for a lot of big name authors and interviewers. Now, some fan run conventions like Dragon Con can draw a lot of big names, but other fan run conventions, only the guest of honor will be of that big name. But big name or not, the panelists and speakers at both make for excellent events. Have you made it out to any book festivals or fan run conventions or other events? What differences do you see? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for tuning in. See you again next week. Bye bye.